Hi guys, this is a quick video to show you all the various tools that are needed to make a English saddle, and I use most of these was making my bridles as well. First up is glue. I use Yoo-Hoo all-purpose adhesive, and it comes in little tubes like this in a little box. I keep sort of 7 or 8 of these in stock actually because I get through so much of the stuff, but this is brilliant because it sticks leather perfectly. It's not like super glue, which can dry sort of a white colour, and it goes hard super glue, so it can cause the leather to crack. So I use Yoo-Hoo because it dries clear and flexible, so it doesn't ruin your tack or doesn't make it crack when it gets a little bit older and well used. And you can get that at most craft shops. I get mine off the Lymington Market stall actually, but you can pick it up places like Hobbycraft, eBay, anywhere online, so it's brilliant stuff. The obvious choice, pair of scissors. I don't even know where I got these from, I think it was W.H. Smith, but make sure they're always sharp, because otherwise you get fuzzy edges to your leather, or your leather can be cut unevenly, so if you cut a straight line, if it's not sharp, it will make the leather sort of have like dints in the edge, and that's not what you want. So yeah, make sure they're not too large either, small scissors are key. Next up, I have my scalpel, and I cannot live without this. This scalpel is brilliant. I believe I got it from Hobbycraft about 3 or 4 years ago. And make sure you want the kind with an interchangeable blade. I think this is a number 11 surgical grade blade. I get these through my father's work. I buy them in bulk, sort of hundreds at a time, because I get through so many. I get through 2 or 3 blades per saddle. And they must always be really, really sharp to get a nice, neat edge to your leather. Next up are my pounce wheels. I got these from a US store called Micromark. They ship worldwide, and I think I paid about $25 for the set. Don't know if you can see. Hang on, I'll get the larger one. There we go. But it's a tiny wheel with lots of little sort of spikes coming out of it. They don't hurt. You can rub your finger on them. But that's what I use to stitch mark my saddles and bridles. This is the largest of the set. It came in a set of 3. This one I like to use for stitch marking saddles. And the smallest of them all, it's a teeny tiny little thing, you can hardly see it there. That's brilliant for making the stitch marks on bridles or smaller scale saddles and tack. And they are really indispensable. I suggest you get a set of those if you're serious about tack making. Next I have my set of needle nose pliers, the kind with the rivets inside so they can grip. They're just indispensable when it comes to attaching hardware items such as tongues to buckles or gripping small things that your fingers are too big to grip. Then I have a pair of wire nippers, which I use to cut wire. Or I sometimes use these for creating the points at the end of straps in leather, either this or my scalpel. They're really, really handy things, because tack makers, we always work with wire to make buckles and hardware and things. Next is my pair of round nose pliers, or jewellery pliers. I mean, I picked all these up at Hobbycraft, Homebase, B&Q, other hardware stores or DIY stores. Make sure you get a mini set though, really tiny set. I use those for shaping buckle tongues, occasionally small scale bits or scaled D-rings. Next I have my awl, which I can't even remember where I got this, years and years ago. Just a small needlepoint awl, used for if you make slots in saddles, like to put stirrup bars in, or the slots that you use to put the stirrup keepers through. I use these to open up the slots in order for the leather to pass through. Indispensable thing, I love it. Now this is my secret hole puncher. It is a mechanical pencil of all things. I got this from W.H. Smith, picked it up for about £5 I think. It's a 0.5mm or 0.5mm tip, and to punch the hole you basically stick it in the leather, hit the top with a hammer, and hey ho, you have a perfect hole that will not close up. And if you use a needle, it will close up. If you use this, the hole will not close up because it actually punches out a hole. It's like a hole puncher for paper. But if you're looking for a mechanical pencil, make sure it's the type with a metal end like this, because a plastic end will not go through the leather and it will probably just shatter. So make sure you get a good quality one. And last but not least is my trusty hammer. I believe I got this from a local hardware store in Lymington. It's a hickory hammer. Can't remember how big the end is, but you can see sort of like hand. It's sort of about half the length of my hand. I don't use the the pointed end. I only use the flat end, obviously, to hit my mechanical pencil when I'm making holes. Or sometimes if I'm bending an irritating piece of metal that just won't want to bend or flatten out, you can hammer it flat. And last but not least, there's another pair of pliers I got in the same set as my needle nose sort of round end pliers. These are flat pliers with no divots in the middle, so they don't grip, but they're used for like sort of if you glue something like two ends of leather lace together, I sort of just clamp it down with the end of these to make sure the bond is made and the leather won't come undone. And they're brilliant. Oh, and also, the thing that all my tools are sat on is a cutting mat. It's just a rubber cutting mat, so it's bendy. And that just saves my desk, not that my desk is in any decent condition, but it saves you punching holes in your desk and making cuts, and it also grips when you're working with things as well to stop them sliding around when you're punching holes in leather straps, because you don't want to break the strap. Cutting mat. So yeah, that's basically all my tools. I mean, oh, hang on. In here I keep my sewing needles. Just a couple of little sewing needles. Can't go wrong for stitching things like girth straps together or material or anything. But yeah, those are the basic tools that I use. I've got loads more in there, but they're not really important. They're only sort of things I use occasionally. So yeah, lots of tools there for you guys. Until next time.